The Fantasy Footballers Studio is sponsored by Walmart. Welcome to the Fantasy Footballers Podcast with your hosts, Andy Holloway, Jason Moore, and Mike Wright.
Welcome in. Wednesday, October 22nd. Jason Moore, Andy Holloway, and a cardboard bear today. Mike is, he was going to be here. He is Mr. Mom this week. Single dad this week. His wife is out of town. Everything was smooth. Everything was fine. Then one of the kids got sick.
It happens.
And so he is taking care of that, and we are here today. We've got second half sleeper picks on the show, a Thursday night game to get into, some news to catch you up on.
Your questions to answer.
Yeah. No, it's going to be a good show. We just saw waivers go through in all of our leagues right before. There's a new manager for Brock Bowers in the Chopped League.
Yeah,
so
you got 7 days.
That team is doomed. And
I mean, it's virtually impossible for it to happen again, but I have to imagine everyone in the league is rooting for that to happen.
There's a reason I only bid a little bit.
I couldn't believe I've
been on the edge of Chopped for like three weeks, and I was like, this is the thing that would push me right over the edge.
It's so funny because
he's not playing this week.
Right. He's on. Well, that was my hope. Maybe that breaks the curse. He can't hurt you on bye, but still, it was fascinating to me how much clearly the curse has factored into real bids because he should have gone for a lot of money.
Yeah,
he's going to come off the bye.
I want to
be one of the best tight ends in fantasy football. That's my belief.
Yeah,
and
for a bunch of teams going out that week,
right?
That's how it feels. There you go. Megalo Bowl leaders right now through 7 weeks. Puka Nukem, number 1 overall out of 20,000 plus players on the Megalo Bowl. So congratulations. Puka Nukem in first place. Smokey the Bear, though, hot on his heels.
Oh, only you
can
prevent forest fires.
You can find us.
I am in 4,713th place.
With what record?
12-2.
Okay. You can find us on X at the FF Ballers. You can follow me at Andy Holloway, Jason at JasonFFL.
Don't give out Mike's.
Mike's is
no. Don't you do it.
Okay.
He's got to be here. He's got to earn it.
Yeah, we deleted his Twitter because he's not here today.
Right.
YouTube.com/TheFantasyFootballers. Make sure you subscribe just in case AWS goes out.
Yeah, that's true.
We had the show on Monday where we couldn't post the podcast because the entire internet's hinging on one U.S. East AWS server. And, Google doesn't use AWS. So YouTube was up and the show was up and we were waiting to post the podcast for 5 hours, guys? The producers were clicking the button to try the upload again.
Every 5 minutes.
Every 5 minutes for five hours. And, so you want to subscribe, youtube.com/TheFantasyFootballers, and then click the bell, and then you'll be alerted when Mike goes live on Sundays for Sunday Live, which is an hour before kickoff. Gets you ready with the last-minute news and, unfortunately, meteorology reports.
Yeah. Thankfully, it does not appear, as of this moment, to be as bad of weather as it was last week for some of those games.
I'm just seeing this news that Tyrod Taylor, who had a chance to start on Sunday, is considered day-to-day with a knee injury.
Yeah, he has not been a model of health. He is a backup that
still
it seems
hurt.
like every year he is needed. The starter goes down only so that Tyrod can go in and go down.
It does seem that way. It has been that way for a while. So we'll see who we get in New York. But let's talk some backup options.
Backup options, presented by Progressive Insurance.
All right, well, the most dropped players on Sleeper over the last 24 hours, Justin Fields, Caleb Williams, Emmanuel Wilson, Hassan Haskins, Sean Tucker, Michael Carter, Whittington, McCaffrey, Mike Evans, Pour one out.
Sad.
Cameron Johnson. Michael Mayer, Darren Waller, A.J. Barner, Mason Taylor. So most of those make sense to me.
Yeah, I would say most of them
Waller
make sense.
Probably should hang around if you got an IR spot.
Yeah, it's right. I mean, a lot of leagues don't have IR. You're going to miss it more than likely at least 2 weeks. And with the bye-pocalypse where 6 teams are on bye, you might just have to do that. I mean, Jeremy's over there with going to have to drop a starter. He doesn't have anyone on his bench to be able to drop to find a tight end right now, so you're going to have to make a trade or something, Jer.
That's right.
Yeah.
I would say make a trade with me,
or
but
do nothing. None of that's going to make a
any of your
difference.
players. So
we have backup options for you, though. So if you didn't get the waiver ads that you wanted, we were just going through all of our leagues. We definitely missed out on some players we wanted. Here are some backup options you can pay attention to. And, for me, there were kind of 2 names I wanted to just float out there. Check to see if Harold Fannin was dropped.
yes,
Just due to kind of reaction to the roulette of tight ends. It looks like 29% of leagues he's out there. Through 7 weeks, he has the 5th most targets of all tight ends and the 4th most receptions. You had a weather game last week, so he didn't perform up to, what you hoped for, but he's on pace for, almost 80 receptions. That's probably going to go up with no Njoku.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. I think he has a great start this week. He is used in the area of the field where you're actually going to get targets because, the Browns aren't pushing it downfield. So like downfield to the Browns right now is Harold Fannin. It's like 15 yards.
Yep.
It's really juicy.
The other name I was just going to throw out is because they're going into the bye week. Bam Knight's going to be everywhere. And we're talking like people are stuck starting really bad players. Bam Knight had a ton of opportunity in the last Cardinal game, and Trey Benson is not eligible to return until week 10. The trend in Arizona has actually been to give Bam Knight more work and Michael Carter less work. That is what has happened. And so 17 opportunities last week. He had scored 2 previous weeks. Last week, 57 yards on the ground. I don't think Bam Knight or Michael Carter are very good, but a starting running back for a period of time, including Dallas right after the bye week, pick him up during the bye.
Yeah.
If you have the ability to do it and stash them on your bench.
That's something that I think people need to take advantage of. The player I wanted to highlight is another player going on to bye. It's Matthew Stafford. He is the type of player I expect to be dropped in a lot of leagues. He's not been, he wasn't drafted super high. He hasn't finished very high in fantasy for a number of years. And with all the buys and him being one of the players going on bye, I would imagine many leagues he's dropped. I would scoop him up. It's been with Devontae Adams around the goal line. It's been not just Kyron Williams, and that has made all the difference for Matthew Stafford. He's been great the last few years, but for fantasy purposes, the touchdowns have come on the ground, and that's just wrecked him. The last month of football, Matthew Stafford is the quarterback 4 in fantasy points. He was the quarterback 2, 5, and 5 in 3 of those 4 weeks. So going on the rest of the season, they've got a good schedule. I think that Devontae Adams makes a difference. And I've got a couple other names to throw out there. Now there's been new talk this morning that I saw that it is legitimately concerning that rumors are that Lamar really might not play this week. Now, currently, the over-under, the Vegas lines of how many points they're expecting to score, the Baltimore Ravens being favored, the expectation appears that Lamar's playing. So I don't know if that line has moved this morning with more rumors that maybe he misses. However, there will come a time, I think, this year where the tight end position, whether that's Likely or Andrews, it matters with Lamar there. I mean, the Baltimore Ravens have kind of been deleted from our thought process because the last month without Lamar has been so bad. They're not going to be that bad. They are going to be a team that is scratching and clawing to get back in the playoffs. And the best part is their defense is wrecked. You know who it reminds me of a lot? Last year, the Cincinnati Bengals. They started, what were they? They were probably 1-5, something like that.
They were 1-5.
And their defense was healthy and awful. And you saw people win championships with that Burrow-Chase stack because they were scratching and clawing, almost made the playoffs. And they did it because MVP caliber play from Joe Burrow. When Lamar comes back, he's going to put that team on his shoulders, and he's going to throw a ton of yards, ton of touchdowns. And so the weapons there, you got Flowers, but I think Andrews and maybe Isaiah Likely, who hasn't really had an opportunity yet to do anything this season, those are guys I'd be looking at on the waivers.
That was Backup Options, sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Quote today at progressive.com. Let's talk some news.
News and notes from around the league, presented by Progressive Insurance.
Well, no team has really been more hurt on the offensive side of the football than Dan Quinn and the Commanders. When you don't have your quarterback or your best two starting wide receivers, I would say that is a tough position to be in there.
It's fair. I mean, the 49ers say, hold my beer, but at least they have Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, they've
lost their quarterback, their starting wide receivers, their starting tight end.
Yep.
And their entire defense.
Yep. They're getting some back, though. In fact, when we get to second-half sleepers, I have a name from the 49ers worth mentioning. Dan Quinn said the plan is for Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuel to have a full week of practice ahead of their Monday night game against the Chiefs.
That's great.
So that's exciting. I just was going to mention the Chiefs are 10.5-point favorites right now against the Commanders.
Yeah, so. Right now I don't think we have information on Jaden Daniels, whether he has a chance to play or not. The expectation and that line says, I think, as of this moment, that it should be Mariota.
Buccaneers head coach Todd Bowles said Bucky Irving and Chris Godwin are getting better, but didn't know whether each could play in their play or return to practice this week.
And they have a bye week next week. This is 3 weeks missed for Bucky Irving. They didn't put him on IR, so usually that means you're trying to get a player back before 4 weeks. However, with the bye next week, I would not be surprised at all. I don't know how true it is or isn't. Like, we talk about this, and they're all human beings, so maybe there is truth. But like, you're playing the Saints. The Buccaneers are going to play the Saints, and I feel like you go, do we want to rush them back? We can beat the Saints without Bucky.
No,
and then give them another week for the bye week.
Yeah, it's a very different report than the McLaurin and Deebo going to have a full week of practice. Kevin Stefanski says he's hopeful David Njoku will play in Week 8, remains day-to-day. So he could be back sooner than we expected.
That would suck. That would be awful.
For Fannin?
Yeah, because Fannin and Njoku, if you combine, like if you look at just tight end team tight end, the Browns are hot this year. I mean, they're on fire. You just can't start either one of them because they're both getting a good chunk. Neither is getting a great chunk. Together, it would be great. So please, either one of you, don't play. They should take turns.
Stay fresh.
Just like every other Sunday is Fannin, and every other Sunday is Njoku.
Or they both wear the same jersey each week.
Oh, and then so every play
just gets attributed.
I'm fine with that.
The Jets are moving forward towards naming Tyrod Taylor the starter. Tyrod Taylor, sorry. But the reports is like they know who the quarterback's going to be. They don't want to publicize it. Don't want to give a competitive advantage.
No, and they also have not named their starting wide receiver. They don't have them to name, so they're like looking for wide receivers. I think they're doing open tryouts right now.
You see the comments from their owner?
Yes.
Where it's like, he said they'd look good if they could just complete a pass, and then they also said with this quarterback, but like the quarterback's on your team.
Yeah,
that's pretty
rough.
Aaron Jones, Vikings running back, designated to return from injured reserve. He's got a 21-day window to return. Was limited on the walkthrough, but he's going to come back soon.
Soon?
I think they really need him.
Yeah, they definitely need him.
He's a different type of player than Jordan Mason, obviously.
Yeah. Soon would be very, very soon. A couple days.
You're saying, do you think he'll be back in a couple days?
I do. I think he plays this week.
That was News and Notes, sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations. Coverage subject to policy terms, limits, and conditions. I was just thinking about how fun it would be to listen to the Falcon try to read the disclaimer at the end of an ad.
Oh, bleh.
Do you know what I mean?
That would be so
like, do you want to give it a...
I would love to.
You want to give it a rip?
Yeah,
you see the show doc there.
Yeah, you're employed.
Let me just hear it.
All right, let's go.
You can get through this perfectly.
Oh, my God.
Let's go.
You got this.
Progressive Quality Insurance
Yes!
Company
Yes!
and third-party insurers not available in all states or situations. Coverage subject to policy terms, limits, and conditions.
Okay. You got
it.
there. Yeah, you started real bad with different words. But the rest of it was pretty good.
Yeah, good job. I am proud of you.
Didn't see that coming, did you?
Reading is not
Blah.
for everyone.
Reading's not for everyone. Okay, I don't know why I did that. Sorry, buddy. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back with Thursday Night Football.
This episode is supported by Prize Picks. You make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this football season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Prize Picks is the only app that offers stacks, meaning you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. I've been doing that to great success with Justin Herbert. You want to pick more of a quarterback's passing yards and rushing yards and touchdowns. Now you can do them all in the same lineup only on Prize Picks. And Foot Clan, if you want to play along with us around the studio parts, we've been looking at usually a weekly projection of about 5.5, 6.5 rushing yards on Jordan Love. That one, don't change it. Don't change it out there. Download Prize Picks apps today and use code FOOTBALLERS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code FOOTBALLERS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Falcon's a good sport.
Oh, he is. Yeah, he's the best. All right, here we go. Thursday night breakdown.
Thursday Night Breakdown.
The aforementioned...
I'd love to see the Falcon break down this match.
break down this entire game in a solo?
We'll be just him and Jay Grizz.
Okay. Well, the Minnesota Vikings, we just talked about them briefly with Aaron Jones. They're 3-3, hanging in there with the quarterback situation. Heading to Los Angeles to take on the Chargers at SoFi. The Chargers are 4-3. Vegas line, Chargers -3. Over-under is 44.5. You know, this is a really interesting game to me because I feel like the Chargers to a lesser degree, but maybe similarly to the Broncos, a little bit of Jekyll and Hyde going on. There are games in which the Chargers, I know that, you know, there's a lot of things to blame there. The offensive line, the injuries to the running back core, those would be the significant reasons why they struggle, but at times they look unstoppable. Even in the game they just lost, they looked unstoppable on offense for parts of that game.
Once they got it going, yeah. I mean, when they had to put the pedal to the metal, they can. And I think part of that is that's kind of the issue is like they try to be conservative. You know, they want to play a conservative brand of football, usually the Harbaugh defense and run game, and it's not working. And so when they got down by a bunch and we're like, hey, we're just going to have to go high tempo, push the ball down the field, that's what they do best.
Yeah, and I think I would probably disagree that that's what they want to do, the slow thing. I don't think I buy that narrative anymore coming off of the second half of last year and the first half of this year basically leading in neutral pass rate. I think they do want to lean on Herbert. They just can't successfully lean on Herbert when they allow so many pressures. They have allowed the most pressures in this last game against Indianapolis, which credit to their defense. 35 times in that game, Justin Herbert was pressured. That is the most since 2019 in any single game. Herbert is so capable of 404 any week.
Yeah,
but you have
420-3 last week.
Yeah, you just don't know exactly what week it is going to be, which is like why Bo Nix was irrelevant through 3 quarters and great for a quarter. And that was a perfect microcosm of Denver. They actually looked horrible for 3 quarters. They just figured out how to turn it on in one game, not the next game. Minnesota, though, that's what they do. They bring the pressure. I could see this being an almost upset. I could see this being
for sure.
Minnesota taking this one on the road. Carson Wentz, I would say, was borderline awful last week against Philadelphia, and they were still in that game. That's just the way Minnesota plays and the way that they're coached and the way their defense plays. They're just in games that they shouldn't be, and the way that their defense lines up against the Chargers, it's, man, I learned last week. I just go with it.
Yeah, you just follow.
I'm supposed to just go with it, right?
You just go with whatever you feel.
But this feels early.
It was early last week.
I don't even have it in the board. My board drop isn't even there.
I'll bet Jeremy, hit it.
Hit it.
Jeremy.
Hit that. Oh, that was fast.
Andy's almost upset of the week.
Yeah, I'm just going to go with it. I'm going to go with it early. That's how it feels.
Yeah, with the spread, I did take the Vikings on this one. I think it's going to be a competitive game. The Vikings defense has been a question to me. The way that the Chargers offense and the Broncos offense has shown up, where sometimes they look unbelievable, unstoppable, and sometimes they look, incompetent. That's kind of how I feel about the Vikings defense. At the beginning of the year, I wanted to be like they're one of the top 3 defense. They just looked. I
still feel that way.
I
do,
but they've had a few games.
Breakdowns.
Yeah, they've had a few breakdowns where it's like, they didn't show up. So I don't know.
There were big plays last week. That was the problem.
On a Thursday night short week on the road, that's where it's like, are they going to show up in a massive way in that setting?
Yeah, and Hassan Haskins right now did not practice on Thursday. It looks like Kamani Vidal-Sassoon will have the backfield mostly to himself. He's already been called doubtful. That would be Haskins by Jim Harbaugh. So,
and that
hurts too. And Joe Alt limited on Thursday with the ankle injury. If he plays, he's playing a little bit less than 100%.
Yeah, I think that is a massive deal for the Chargers, for Justin Herbert. Both of these teams are kind of run funnel defenses, really good at stopping the pass and average against the run. So I think Vidal-Sassoon is a fine start. Reminder, because this is Thursday Night Football, and Vidal is pretty much like a borderline flex player. He's not a guy that you see as like your running back one. If you are going to start him, make sure you put him in the running back slot so that your flex is open for injuries through the week or pivots with whatever it is.
Absolutely. And then based on what you just said, pass funnel situation, you said run funnel.
Run funnel, yeah.
Because of that, the Vikings 9th against the pass. You have 4 players that are actually start-sit questions in the game with McConkey, Johnston, Keenan, and Gadsden. All 4 of those were 100% startable last week. Mike wanted Keenan to show him something after this strong start and weak middle. He did. McConkey's been great. Johnston's just getting back into the swing of things, got back into the end zone. And then how do you not play Gadsden if you spent up on waivers today for 7 and 164 and you have 2 straight weeks with the 6 first read targets and the athleticism?
Yeah, it's
like, do you play all 4 guys even though the matchup isn't amazing?
So when you adjust for the schedule, right now on the season, the Vikings are the most difficult matchup for fantasy wide receivers. So putting 3 wide receivers out there, it's not going to work.
It's not. It's a roulette.
It's going to be, one guy's going to have a good game and 2 guys are going to have a bad game, and you don't know who. I can't sit here and tell you which one is going to have the good game. If I had to take a stab at it, I'm going to take the highest odds at a touchdown, and that would be Quentin Johnston. So I would rank them in order of touchdowns, which would be, honestly, huge Keenan Allen, Ladd. You could start any of the 3, but I think it will be disappointing. When it comes to Gadsden, that is kind of the weakness of the Vikings' pass defense. Adjusted for schedule, they're 24th against tight ends. So I think Gadsden, if you paid up and you got him, you've got to chase the last 2 games, I think.
He has played 75 and 79% of snaps over the last 2 weeks. So it will be interesting to see if he stays right around there on the other side.
Would you rather play Gadsden or Hawkinson? Same game.
Gadsden by so much.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think that is absolutely true.
Because I want a chance to be happy in a big way.
Not
just like okay.
Well, last week, Hawkinson, he had a touchdown that was called a touchdown and overturned, and he was super upset about it because he felt like it was a catch even after the review. And honestly, I think it was slightly debatable, but had that not been overruled, you would have looked at last week and been like, what a great game. Hawkinson, and you would have
fallen for a trap there, I think.
Okay.
Because, you're looking at 15, 12, 49, 39, 38, and 43 yards. He's literally kind of the opposite of Gadsden.
Right.
At this juncture of his career, he's going to be a screen game guy. He's going to be a short area guy. Gadsden can give you one play to outpace the fantasy points of 5 Hawkinson plays.
Where would Jordan Addison rank among those Chargers wide receivers? You realize how good he has been? So Jordan Addison right now, he's been back for 3 weeks. He's the wide receiver 14, the wide receiver 20, and the wide receiver 10 with 114 yards, 128 yards, and a game with 41 and a touchdown.
Undervalued. Also was in strong consideration for second half sleeper pick for me. on this show when we do it in a few minutes. I didn't pick him because of the quarterback change that is coming for sure. Like Carson Wentz is
McCarthy
definitely but the schedule for Minnesota wide receivers. You remember why Mike traded for Jefferson?
Shut up. I hate that.
They're the best. They're the best strength of schedule situation in the league. If you have a wide receiver named Jefferson or Addison, the rest of the year is the best for you than anybody else. And
yeah, I've got Van Jefferson, baby.
Oh, sorry, not that one.
Oh, you said if I have a wide receiver named Jefferson
that plays
or
on the Vikings. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Dang.
Addison is hiding in the shadows to have an amazing second half if McCarthy can get it together. So consider that an honorable mention second half sleeper, a player to go acquire.
Yeah.
In terms of this game specifically, I wish that I had a better, like a strong conviction about which wide receiver in Los Angeles to put in what order. I don't have that. I literally, if you told me you like Quentin first, Keenan second, McConkey third, I
did tell you that exactly.
Is that exactly what you just said?
That is what I told you a minute ago.
Yeah, I must not have been listening. Or you told me McConkey's first.
Yeah, I agree.
Or you told me that
put him in a blender.
I mean, it doesn't matter. So how does Addison line up? Well, he doesn't have two other guys to fight with.
I was going to say, I feel like three other guys, if you include Gadsden. I think I would take Addison, like if I'm going to start one of those four, I think Addison is a safer bet.
I think he really could be.
Yeah, this is a fascinating game because these two good defenses, but you're on Thursday Night Football. You got to make your decision early, and there's question marks everywhere. No one is like must start outside of Justin Jefferson.
Even Mason, right? You have
it
should be good for Mason.
If Aaron Jones actually comes back and plays this week, now you've got a split where you're concerned. You know, were you starting Jordan Mason week 1, week 2 when Aaron Jones was there? Yeah, I mean he was a questionable start.
But Aaron Jones, according to Kevin O'Connell, he expressed optimism earlier Tuesday that Jones would be able to play. I mean, that is probably – I think I would play Mason. I think I'd be comfortable doing it.
What about Jones?
No.
You would not play Aaron Jones?
No, I would wait a week because I just don't know what the workload's going to be, me personally.
Yeah, that's fine.
But the Chargers, like you said, the run funnel, that's the one area that they've been more vulnerable to giving up fantasy points. So
I would say I would call Aaron Jones a start-to-bowl player if he goes. There are so many teams right now that are –
Yeah, Al, it would be his number one player.
Al would. I mean, that would be his best player on his roster.
Yes, but other teams probably not.
Right. Well, because he had Justin Jefferson, he's like, I don't want good players.
Oh yeah, he would have been. Jefferson was his
best player, but then he gave him to Mike
for Garrett Wilson. Oh, he's holding up the. He even moved the camera already. He's holding up his trophy. Is that trophy for bad teams?
It was a great team last year.
No, it was.
I paid the price this year.
You did. All right, we good? Anything else from that game, Jason? Al?
No.
Jay Grizz? No? Okay, moving on.
Second half sleepers.
All right, I want to give an opening statement before we get into these names.
All right.
Second half sleepers. We have a lot of data on the season. If you've been on the website and the premium tools, you get the strength of schedule, the stream finder. You can see all that data and which teams are playing well against different positions. We reference it all the time. I wanted to make a conscious effort on this show today to not take a layup. I want you to feel gross about it and uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this show is meaningless to you. If it's a player that you love, that you know.
I think Saquon Barkley is going to be better the second half of this year.
Actually, that's a perfect example of somebody that could have been thrown out there.
Me too. Derrick Henry, yeah.
Yeah, but what I want is the names, when we say them, you might recoil a little bit, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay because that's what makes them an actual sleeper that could be easily acquirable in your league, and we'll share Mike's as well.
Yeah, let's start with Mike's, which really should be Jay Grizz's, right?
Yeah, let's see what he thinks.
Oh, he's a big fan. He's a big fan of
Colston Loveland.
Of the Bears.
Yeah, Colston Loveland is Mike's second half sleeper. It is not an overstatement to say he's been 100% unusable so far in fantasy in his career.
Has he scored 4 points in a game yet?
He has not.
Okay, so yeah, that is an irrelevant player who is on the vast majority of waivers
Fast
right now.
asleep.
Fast asleep. He's pretty much in a coma. I am not a huge fan. I was not a huge fan
dump
of
on his pick the whole time.
Yeah. I didn't love his tape. We talked about Loveland quite a bit on the Dynasty podcast that came out today, and we had some disagreements there because Matthew Betts was like his guy in the offseason going into the draft. Obviously, the NFL agreed. Everyone was trying. It was reported that people were trying to trade up for him. So this is someone that the NFL thinks is a great player, drafted with that capital on an offense that should be ascending. And part of the reason Mike picked this pick is because they have the second easiest rest of season schedule for the tight end position. Tight end is one of those positions that is schematically relevant for starts and sits. So you have a highly drafted rookie you would expect to be better in the second half of the year than the first half, who was injured. So you expected him to get off to a slower start. If he gets incorporated in more and more as the season goes along, he's certainly a good sleeper option. I don't believe in him, but Mike does, and the Bears do. Where do you stand on Loveland? Do you think he's gonna like really be an impactful fantasy player?
I will say this: Oronde Gadsden was not relevant 2 weeks ago,
right?
Non-existent. Rookie athletic tight end.
Yeah.
Draft capital for Loveland through the roof. Targets have gone up. Snap counts have gone up. Cole Kmet is banged up. Schedule is good. Kind of the definition of a sleeper to me. I think Loveland.
That's not what I asked you, though. I mean, I laid that out.
In him?
What do you believe? Do you believe Colston Loveland this season will become?
No.
Okay.
But I don't think that's a great question for this segment.
Interesting. I feel like it's the most important question we could actually try to answer.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
okay, let me explain myself.
All right.
I don't think that this second half sleeper is not like a probability argument.
Okay.
So when you ask me a question about like Loveland, I don't think the probability is that Loveland is going to be that. The possibility is there. And Mike obviously believes that that's a high likelihood. Like our individual picks, we might have a high probability attached to it. I hope so.
Yeah.
But
okay.
So I see the path, but I don't believe it will happen.
Okay. You said something that I thought was so stupid.
Okay.
And then you really redeemed it.
Oh, okay.
That was
Is that a good
Yeah, I'm proud of
follow up?
I'm proud of you. All right, so my
feel so validated.
Yeah, after being called stupid. My second half sleeper is a guy who has been vomitously bad, and this is great that Mike is not here.
Breaking news.
I'm not stupid. No, that's not
what?
That's not the breaking news. That would be really breaking news. Jaden Daniels officially ruled out.
Okay.
So there you go.
The line makes sense. Mariota will start.
Yep.
Yeah, Mike being gone, this is great because I know it's been, tough sledding for him.
1 week since you.
This was my guy for him. Chase Brown has been one of the worst picks so far in fantasy football. A high draft capital in your fantasy draft and irrelevant. Week 1 was, he got to 10 fantasy points, but until this past week, he hasn't done it again the entire season. I think most people benched him even for this last week, and he's been an irrelevant player. He's looked bad. It's not like he on the season, okay, Burrow went down and he's doing everything he can. The truth is he was not doing anything good. He wasn't breaking tackles. He wasn't looking efficient. He wasn't overcoming the obstacles in front of him. But I think Joe Flacco really has made a difference for the Bengals, for Chase Brown. We saw it this last week.
Breaking news.
That's strike 2, man. That's strike 2. One more.
The chance to hit you twice with breaking news was
irresistible. I just saw the breaking news, man.
Darren Waller has been placed on IR.
Come on, man.
I need you to keep talking about what you were talking about.
I trade a 4th-round pick to you for a guy who
never scored for your one game.
He went in my lineup to goose me.
So can I?
And I lost by 0.33 fantasy points, and then he goes on IR.
Al, let me tell you about this trade, guys. So Jason had kind of wanted Darren Waller, and he's not doing anything on Sunday 2 weeks ago. Just nothing.
Disappearing.
And I sent him a trade offer for this fourth or a fifth or something like that. I don't remember, a third. I guess it was a third.
You were asking for a third, and I was countering with a fifth.
Yeah, and nothing's happened. And the game is like 2 minutes left in the game. And he catches a garbage time touchdown. Darren Waller. And I fire over that trade in under a second. I'm like,
meet in the middle.
I'm like, let's go. And he tries to squeeze me for a little fab, and then you technically sent the offer because I had rejected it. But anyway, so yeah, you fought for him, and then this is bad luck. I mean, it's just unfortunate. And I assume this is 4-game IR, and then we'll see. Do you have any news on that? They signed Greg Dulcich off their practice squad.
Irrelevant.
Sorry, you got to keep talking about Chase Brown, who gross people out all first half of the year, because I want to see if one more piece of news comes in.
Okay. So if you watch Chase Brown, the very first game of the season, he was okay. Then Burrow goes down. Yeah, I was waiting for it.
Breaking news.
Bucky Irving and
is it real? Yeah. You have more? Yeah. Get out of
Bucky
here.
Irving and Chris Godwin will not be back for Sunday's game, both officially not playing. So your Tez Johnson and your Emeka Egbuka.
That's ridiculous. I'm not talking.
You can't possibly feel like you can make an argument of any kind right now.
No, I'm done. I'm out of here.
But you like Chase Brown, huh?
Maybe. We'll never know.
Oh, the hat trick on breaking news, never before seen. I don't even know where to jump.
Okay, so here's what happened. I'm going to talk about Chase Brown here. What happened is he came in, he looked okay, then Joe Burrow goes down and he's not good. Joe Flacco comes in for 2 weeks, and in 2 weeks he was a very efficient runner.
Okay.
So they can't, it's like
50's schedule, yeah.
There was absolutely no threat of an offense with Jake Browning. So Chase Brown couldn't do anything. You've had 2 weeks with Joe Flacco. In those weeks, you had 4.7 a carry, and then last week was, monstrous, 9.8 a carry. You had, the 37-yard run, had over 100 rushing yards. You know that the checkdowns can come from Joe Flacco as well. So you combine that with how bad he's been and how good the schedule is coming up. They have the 5th easiest schedule for running backs the rest of the season, and that's juicy. You get into the playoffs with Baltimore and Miami in your first 2 weeks. I think he's going to turn it around. He's still got the 8th most targets at the running back position. He's had 2+ receptions in all 7 games. Very few other running backs have done that. And so, he is a target for me. Like, I would try to go acquire him because I think the Chase Brown managers are going, this is a mirage. I've had to deal with him. Thank goodness he had a good game. I can get something for him. I'm on the other side where I'm starting to believe this is now we can see what he can do because the opportunity is still his. He's not sharing the workload.
Nobody else is coming up. So this one I'll give you a negative reaction.
Breaking news.
I can hit the button too. That was the breaking news. Sorry.
We are running a podcast here, Jason.
Man. We're trying.
You can't. I had breaking news each of those times.
All right.
Real important breaking news.
You talk. I'm going to Twitter.
This is not a clown show. You're going to search for it?
I'm not listening to a word you say.
Second half sleeper pick for me is actually Jordan Love. And, this is not – he's had one good game, fantasy-wise. One good game.
You did start this segment by saying it should feel
you
gross.
Should recoil.
You and I are in disagreement on Jordan Love. I know we're going to talk about him more tomorrow, and I was surprised about that.
Jordan Love is that's our job. We got to find the players that we think are going to emerge that are not necessarily who everybody agrees on. Jordan Love is not playing bad football. You and I might disagree on that. Jordan Love, from a passer rating and effectiveness standpoint, is not playing bad football. What has happened is he is not producing for fantasy. Those things are there's a lot of times that they're not correlated. He had a quarterback 4 finish against Dallas, bad defense. Okay, we're done. He's lost Jaden Reed, the most kind of firmly established, highly talented wide receiver that he had. He has no Jordan Reed. He has no Christian Watson. They're not working Matthew Golden into the target share of this offense very much. I mean, the pass attempts. We just went through 55 pass attempts with Justin Herbert. The last 2 weeks for Jordan Love, it's 26 and 29. He has a top 10 schedule for quarterbacks over the back half of the year. He's going to get Christian Watson back. Eventually, he's going to get Jaden Reed back into this offense. And again, this is not a you must start him every week. This is a second half sleeper. Who's somebody that you could end up winning your league with? You're going to play the 28th ranked passing defense in football, the Chicago Bears 2 times going into your fantasy playoffs. And then you're going to play Baltimore in championship week. You're going to play the Giants. You're going to play Pittsburgh at 30, in week 8. It's Pittsburgh this week. He's going to get more and more weapons there, and he's not incapable of having those type of big games. In fact,
breaking news.
The Giants have designated kicker Graham Gano to return from injured reserve. He will practice today with the intention of kicking Sunday against the Eagles in Philadelphia. I found some news.
Kicker news. You found kicker news.
I do what it takes. I dig deep.
So obviously you didn't have any real argument against Jordan Love, which is nice.
So I mean the issue I have with Jordan Love, you talked about you lose Jaden Reed. I don't know that he's coming back this season.
That's the plan.
Soon?
Yes. I mean, I think week 10, right? I mean, I think that was the original estimate. So he's eligible to be activated from injured reserve in following week 8. That is too aggressive of a timeline. 6 to 8 weeks was the recovery timeline. I'm saying over the second half of the year, he's going to get weapons back. On a per-play basis, Matthew Golden has actually been really good. I know nobody agrees with that. On a per-game basis, Jordan Love's been very good. 5th in yards per attempt, 7th in completion percentage, a career high, 7th in passer rating. He's a great quarterback. This is the same as Justin Herbert. That's what it is.
My issue is entirely that what we saw. Did Jordan Love play bad football last year? No, he was very good. He was very, very good. And the second half of last season, he played very good football. And he was terrible for fantasy.
Yep.
Josh Jacobs was the touchdown machine. They figured out how good Josh Jacobs was, and down the stretch, they just said, hey, you're our best chance to score touchdowns. And it's carried over to this season. So my issue is really that I don't know that they're going to change what the recipe that is working. He can play good and not be good for fantasy. And I get what you're saying. It's a sleeper. You're trying to find someone that we're not necessarily expecting, someone that has been asleep who has the ability to overcome that. And he very well could. I think that they're going to keep relying on Josh Jacobs around the goal line. And if that happens they don't have a wide receiver here. Like, they don't have a Devontae Adams anymore. They don't have a guy that's just going to demand the ball around the goal line. Golden isn't it, at least not rookie or Golden.
Well, Christian Watson has always been that. He has been a high touchdown guy. My point is that they will have the capability soon to do it. I agree with you. I don't think they have that capability right now. But I think that will come. And I think you look at the final 5 games of the season, and you could be optimistic that we've seen people win championships with Joe Flacco. We've seen people win championships with low-ranked quarterbacks. You're playing roulette with Herbert when you start him right now. There's a lot of quarterbacks in that tier, and I think Jordan Love is my second-half sleeper. And I will say that I do think Golden, if given the more opportunities in the offense, will have success for fantasy.
He's been good on a per-target basis. He's just not getting the targets. We'll see if I mean, obviously
Zach Cruz had put out there that he is 60.9% success rate, 78% catch rate, averaging 10.8 yards per target, which is number 1 among all rookie wide receivers in all 3 of those. So those are all the best numbers. He's not getting a Egbuka target share. He's getting a very minimal amount of involvement because they don't need to, because you can run it with Josh Jacobs.
It's Josh Jacobs' team right now.
So
I want to throw out this is a bonus second half sleeper. JJ McCarthy, the same schedule that we're talking about for Justin Jefferson being great for the pass catchers. I think second half he is a great sleeper candidate. If I had to personally put $1 on who scores more fantasy points from week 10 to 17, I think I would take McCarthy over Love. Personally,
you got to put more than $1 on that, brother. As much as you want.
As much as I want.
As much as you want.
All right. Well, let's do it.
We'll figure
it
out.
Do a unit.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Joe Flacco is much more that in that category for me. Joe Flacco and T. Higgins are two other names I want to mention for the second half. They're connected. Cincinnati's schedule for quarterbacks, third best in the league, fourth easiest for wide receivers.
Still no defense.
Flacco has been amazing in both of his games, fantasy-wise, 25 and 35 points.
Do you know what this...
I feel a lot more comfortable with Flacco than McCarthy.
Yeah. Flacco with this team, bad defense, great weapons. Do you want to know who it reminds me of? It reminds me of Joe Flacco 2 years ago at the end of the year when he won people championships.
With the Browns?
With the Browns,
because he also did similar stuff with the Jets for a brief amount of time.
Yeah. So now I will say both were brief amount of time.
No, it wears off. Yeah. It does seem to wear off. But there you go. You mentioned in J.J. McCarthy. That would it's terrifying to me because he's not looked good but for a quarter of football on the year. But, yeah, the schedule, you're right. The weapons, he didn't have Addison yet. So those are there. So we'll take a break and hit some mailbag. I wonder who'll do the drop. Foot Clan, we want you to meet Claude, the AI designed to be your thinking partner, Pop and Josh. When you're making fantasy decisions, Claude helps you work through the complexity behind your choices, like weighing a rookie's upside against a veteran's floor or analyzing how weather patterns might affect your quarterback choice. Claude goes beyond easy answers. It's the AI for minds that don't stop at good enough. It thinks with you, not for you. Try Claude for free at claude.ai/fantasyfootballers and see why the world's best problem solvers choose Claude as their thinking partner. Well, let's take a quick second to thank our sponsor, Jimmy John's, also the new sponsor of our Sunday Live segment. Jimmy John's is here to keep you fueled through Sunday football, and they just rolled out their toasted sandwiches last year, but they didn't stop there. They now have a limited time offer. We tried them all here in the office. Jimmy John's is bringing you pizza sandwiches. You had me at pizza sandwiches. Available in 2 flavors. Enjoy a melty combination of Parmesan, provolone, mozzarella cheese, spread with marinara and oregano basil on perfectly toasted French bread with their 3-cheese pizza sandwich. And if you need something with more protein, you can do what I did, which is accidentally steal one of the other employees' sandwiches, and I ended up with the Sicilian pizza sandwich layered with salami, capicola, and ham. And, of course, spread with deliciously melted mozzarella cheese on top of it as well. Oh, that's good. Jimmy John's new pizza sandwiches available in 2 flavors, 3-cheese pizza sandwich and Sicilian pizza sandwich at participating locations for a limited time while supplies last. Who do you feel like is the most deserving of the opportunity to do the mailbag drop back there?
I think because Falcon did such a good job on the progressive disclaimers that he gets the opportunity again. I think he's earned it, man. I think he's earned it.
All right, well, there's only one way to get there.
There you go.
Mailbag. Presented by NFL Sunday Ticket on YouTube TV.
Yes, no editing. He came in hot.
I want to say that felt like a horse kicking me in the face.
I want to apologize to our audience.
That's not singing.
That was not singing. That was not.
That was not singing.
I don't think it'll be as bad for everyone. Hopefully you're not in AirPod mode right now, listeners.
That was so loud, I think you could smell his breath.
Yeah. Wow.
You're having a day, Falcon.
Man, you are crushing it today.
Honestly, if I were you, I would hit the bathroom.
Yeah, I got a trophy for you.
I guess we could have gone Jay Grizz. Whoops, my bad. All right, into the mailbag we go. If you have a question for us, head to the website, thefantasyfootballers.com. You can click that submit a question button. You can also dial our voicemail hotline, 302-464-TFFB, and leave us a voicemail question. First question comes in from Patrick in Pittsburgh. Been struggling to find a third wide receiver. Am I crazy in thinking I may be able to start Tez Johnson alongside this guy,
Emeka, Egbuka,
for the rest of the season? I mean, that's a tough one to break down. I think Tez is a very good start in the short term because it's a math problem, right? It's if Baker equal production, then Tez equal production.
Yeah,
right?
if Baker's throwing for 350 yards, in the majority of his games,
Bucky Irving out again.
Obviously, that's good. I would agree with you. It's more short term. Chris Godwin is going to come back, and when he comes back, it will be a hit to Tez. I don't look at Tez Johnson as an auto start rest of season. I certainly want to roster him, went after him on waivers when he was there. He's exciting.
It's fun.
There's a chance that it could happen, but no, I don't anticipate that he's just going to be a weekly starter going forward.
All right. This is an ominous title for a question that says quit fantasy football forever. At Taylor Given writes in, I have lost Austin Eckler, Mike Evans, Omarion Hampton, James Conner, Aaron Jones to injury this year.
Okay, you're starting with Austin Eckler, really?
In my main league. Why should I not quit fantasy forever?
Because the emotional downside that you are feeling right now,
which you're not aware of or familiar with.
No, I've never experienced an injured player or a bad beat.
Neutral.
That's actually why you play. It's frustrating when it's injuries. It's really, really frustrating. It's sad, and it's not your fault. It's just bad luck. But the fact that you are probably pulling a little bit of your hair out, it might sound like something you don't want to do, but that is why you enjoy it. The emotional roller coaster of something to care about in life. It's like you can't have highs without lows.
Okay, all right. This is getting existential, but go on.
You can't. If it's all good all the time, it's not good. If that makes sense. Most everything in life is actually that way. You just don't believe it.
Yeah, it's we've said it before. It's the lows are lows, the highs are high, and it's fun. And it's a lot of why we built this show is around we have a league that's almost at 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
There's no money in it. You're playing for the emotional and the connection with your friends, and for
the false sense of superiority.
That's the right phrase.
Yeah,
the false sense of superiority
for you guys. Mine is.
But another reason to not quit is I mean, we sell a draft kit and we need somebody,
right? Yeah,
to play this game.
Yeah, ultimatedraftkit.com in the off season. Footclan.com right now, in-season tools, resources, waiver wire pickup tools, all sorts of great things that you can purchase from us. So God. I would say don't quit.
Right. Yeah. For
they are great
for
tools.
Your own
they
sake.
are great tools though. So
right.
Footclan.com. Go check them out.
I would say that it would be really interesting if AI could analyze like our Slack company channel over 10 years.
I don't think we
and try to figure out track the sentiment on your joy versus pain over a 10-year period.
I think that
oh boy, Kyle says, I got you. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, he will too. If you're going to quit fantasy football, do it after a win. You know what I mean? If you quit now.
What, John Elway style? 2 Super Bowl titles and walk away?
Exactly. There's highs and there's lows. If you leave now, you're leaving.
I'm out of here, the league.
Yeah, you're a loser.
Oh, okay.
You don't want to, if you're going to leave.
So far, your reasons to not quit are you're a loser and
don't
buy stuff from us.
Those are great reasons, Andy.
They're 2 good reasons. Yeah. That's good. Underperforming rookie running back question from @MikeFrash. Which underperforming rookie running back has the best chance to break out now and the fantasy playoffs? I don't think I said it out loud, but I was definitely thinking it on the Monday reaction show. I definitely like R.J. Harvey more than Travion Henderson in that category. I think Bashal Tutin is still – I still think he's there because –
Etienne's been very inefficient.
Etienne's been inefficient, and he's kind of fallen in and out of favor historically. So, what happens if – the best question is what happens if one of these guys has a big game, okay? R.J. Harvey, Travion Henderson, Bashal Tutin, Caleb Johnson. If one of those guys has a big play, like the big one Caleb didn't have on Saturday, if one of those guys have a big game, what are the implications for the team? If you look at R.J. Harvey and he has a big game, I can see a logical and rational way that they give him more work because J.K. Dobbins is a veteran. You get more explosiveness and pass game work. I can see R.J. Harvey's workload increasing. If Travion has a big game, I'm not sure anything changes.
Well, and another way to
or a big play.
Yeah, another way to look at this is actually as silly as it is and unpredictable as it is, injury is the most likely method to one of these guys having a championship-winning end of season. The starter ahead of them goes down. So take a look at each one and say, well, if the starter ahead of him goes down, which one would have that breakout? Yeah. If J.K. Dobbins went down, it's R.J. Harvey alone. It's his team, and it's a good offense. So that's great. Chalk that up to awesome. If Ramondre Stevenson goes down, they're going to find someone off the street to put in over TreVeyon Henderson right now. That's how it feels. I don't think they would just give him the everything. They will split reps with TreVeyon Henderson. I do think that if Travis Etienne went down, Bashal Tutin would get everything, but it's not as good an offense as the Broncos. He's not as good a player as R.J. Harvey. And should Jaylen Warren go down, I would be really, really excited to see what Caleb Johnson could do, but Arthur will 100% use Kenneth Gainwell there. Because 100%. So to me, the answer is clearly R.J. Harvey because he has both the opportunity to gain more work on his own, and if an injury happens in all these situations, he would be the dominant.
And I actually ranked Tutin second there.
I don't blame you there.
All right, Twitter question from @PDPackerFan. What is the best waiver pickup you have ever had in your fantasy careers? Mine was Devon Achane at 5 a.m. in the morning. The Dolphins dropped 70 points on the Broncos a few years ago in my keeper league, so I guess you are you don't have a waiver timer that goes through at one time. You're just first come, first serve. I do remember those days.
Oh,
and I lapped them up.
Yeah. There was one that I remember that was brutal, because it was genuinely something that you saw with your eyeballs in preseason and went, oh, okay, I'm going to call my shot. And then the shot was right. But I went to pick this player up at the same moment that you did. We weren't together. We were at different places. You were at your house. I was at my house.
Both watching the same game.
Both watching the same game. We both saw exactly what we believed. We both went to pick him up. You got him minutes before me. I was so upset. And then I believe you went and won a championship that year with him?
I think so.
And that would be Kurt Warner.
Yeah, that was a good one. I remember getting Marshawn Lynch when the rumors around the Raiders were about to happen, and I got him on the team like a day before that happened. I remember I'm fairly certain that in our Dynasty League, I got Tyreek Hill off the waiver wire.
Yeah. Oh, Tyreek was a Dynasty waiver wire in tons of Dynasty leagues.
I just posted mine in Slack, but Puka Nacua $3 in Dynasty Fab.
Dynasty.
That's my greatest pickup.
Oh my gosh,
that is incredible.
Amazing.
When you talk about all timers, like what's Puka right now? Is he getting to the 5th pick in a startup Dynasty draft?
Probably not. No.
And you got him for $3 on Dynasty waivers.
I just thought of another one too. A few weeks ago, I picked up Darren Waller. I was able to turn him into a 4th round pick.
I don't like you. My favorite pickup, the one that comes to my mind, was, I believe it was Tim Hightower.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
you've always remembered this
I remember that one because I was so adamant. So this was right before the fantasy playoffs. I don't remember the exact running back core, but the starter got injured. And everyone thought the waiver pickup was not Tim Hightower, it was someone else. And I was so absolutely adamant. I was telling everybody that everybody's wrong. It is Tim Hightower. He is the guy you want.
And you got him.
And then I picked him up, and then I won a championship with him because he was great.
The guy.
So that was my favorite one of all time.
Yep, absolutely. All right, that was today's mailbag. Watch every game every Sunday with NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV. Visit youtube.com/fantasyfootballers. Tempted to hand this over to Falcon here, but local and national games on YouTube TV, NFL Sunday Ticket for out-of-market games, base plan required, excludes digital-only games, commercial use excluded, no refunds. No refunds is also our policy.
Oh, yeah.
On this show. It's more like if you hear the podcast, we can't make you unhear it. Like it's done.
I apologize.
The damage is done. We'll catch you tomorrow. Starts of the week. Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Fantasy Footballers Podcast. Join our fantasy football community on jointhefoot.com and follow us on Twitter @TheFFBallers.